Have you ever gotten this objection where the prospect says to you on the phone call or even over the message or over email, it's too much money? Your prices, your services are way too expensive. I can't afford this. This is not the right time. I'm sure every single one of you that is watching this video have gotten that objection, because I know even up to this day, almost every single sales call, I get that objection. And not every single sales call. I have some sales calls that are much easier, people that are much ready, much more committed. But in this video, I want to show you exactly how to handle this objection, not as just as a sleazy salesman, but as a professional. How do you make these people want to buy from you, even after telling you that it's too much money? How do you make them desperate to work with you? And I'm going to show you how to position yourself from just, like I said, a position of authority and a position of expertise, that these people are going to want to work with you and they're going to find a way to get the money no matter what. All right, so let's jump right into this. So first thing is, there's a few things to note about objections. Okay, so the first thing I want to clarify is that you cannot take objections personal. No matter what stage you're at in your business, as humans, it's perfectly normal to have reservations, and we naturally have a guard up at all times. So when people give you objections, or when they tell you no, when they tell you the price is too high, they need to think about it, they don't know if this is the time to do this, they're not saying no to you, they're saying no to themselves and their emotions, because they're afraid that if they invest into something and they don't get their money back or their results back, like maybe they've had bad experiences in the past, their life is going to be over. So they're not saying no to you because they don't think you have what it takes, or they don't think that you can deliver results. They just don't believe in themselves as much. Okay, so I want you to sink that in. Don't take them personal. They're not trying to hurt you. They're not trying to insult you. It's just problems that they have within. All right. The next thing is objection handling is simply coaching. So if you can help people out of their fear and into their purpose, and you can show them how persuasive you are, how good you are at communication, and how good you are at talking about what you do, they're going to start to believe, okay, like if this guy is so good at convincing me that their product is good, then it must be good. So you're simply coaching them. You're showing them what you're capable of and how you can do the same exact thing. So you are the best result that you can show them, right? So whenever people ask me for testimonials, or whatever they ask for, of like, hey, like, how have your students or clients increased their sales? I mean, they see it from the way I communicate. Like, I know what I'm talking about, and I try to show that. It's obvious that I know what I'm talking about, and it shows that I'm very passionate about what I do. And when you start doing that, you're gonna help people go from these fears, these pain points that they have inside, and these struggles that they deal with internally, and you're going to help them turn those into purpose, because everyone has a purpose. Everyone that wants to get ahead in life has a purpose. Maybe it's make more money, maybe it's buy a house, go on vacation, travel with their kids, go on a honeymoon. Whatever the deal is, everyone has a purpose. And if you can prove to them that their purpose is much bigger and much stronger and much better than their fear, then you've done your job. That's where the objection handling comes in, right? And the next thing you need to know is that if humans are left to their own devices, they will stay stuck in their hellhole that they're in. And that's why they're talking to you in the first place, because these people are maybe miserable with their life. They're struggling. Maybe they're not making even enough money to pay the rent. They don't have any clients. They don't have any customers. Things are going down the drain for them. And that's why they're on the phone with you. Because they're not on the phone with you to get to know you or to be your friend or to, just see what you do or just to waste your time or waste their time. They need help, and they're desperate for it. It's written all over their face that they're desperate for help. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on the phone with you, right? So with that being said, the next thing is that you need to begin to expect objections, and you need to begin to get excited about them. Get excited about them. Like anytime I get an objection about money now, or I need to think about it, or give me a few weeks, or this is not the right time, I literally get so excited. I smile. And I get excited because I know, like, this is all right. It's game time. This is what I practiced for. This is what I've worked so hard for. So whenever objections come up in a sales call for me, I've gone into the habit of just routinely like getting excited about them, right? And that comes with preparation. That comes with practice. That comes with videos like this that help you learn how to handle these objections the right way, the best way, as opposed to being combative with them. You're just going to guide them. You're going to lead them in the right direction. All right. So here's the money objection. Okay. So, I want to keep this video pretty short and pretty simple, but I guarantee you this video is going to be, it's valuable. It is valuable, all right, because I'm going to give you the exact thing to say whenever you get the money objection. So, the first thing you want to do is isolate it. Okay, isolate the objection. And what this means, what isolating an objection means, is make sure that this is the real objection, because maybe they don't believe in your product, and if that's the case, then you didn't do a good job of presenting the value in the first place, which means that you need to go back and present the value again. Because a lot of times these customers are going to tell you that it's too much money or that they need to think about it, when it's actually, that's not actually the problem. It's actually that maybe they have the money, they just don't believe in you. Maybe they don't believe in your service. Or maybe they're saying that they need to think about it when they actually don't have the money because they're embarrassed. So you need to isolate this objection and make sure that this is the real reason as to why they're not working with you. See, here's the other thing that I've learned, and I've learned this the hard way because I've missed out on many deals by believing this. People have money, some more than others, and probably a lot more than you think. I would judge people based off their profile or based off their looks or based off the way they were communicating. I would judge how much money they had, and sometimes I would say, "Oh, this person doesn't have money. Oh, this person, they said they only have $500. I can't charge them $2,000. I can't charge them this much." And do you know how many deals I've lost? I was literally on a sales call 2 weeks ago, and this person went through my qualifying questions, before they book a call and everything. And this person told me on the application, they basically said, I asked, how much money do you have to invest into yourself? And this person said, $300. And they didn't have a job. And they only had $300 to invest. And I took the risk, and I said, all right, let me just take this call. Like, what do I have to lose? It was a slow few days. So I said, what do I have to lose? And I took the sales call. And basically, I built the rapport. It was like about a 45-minute call. I had the chance to build a real relationship, get to know the real problems that they have, what their goals are. And this person, I built a real friendship with this person on the phone call. And at the end of the phone call, when I dropped the price at $3,000, I literally dropped the price at $3,000, knowing that this person said that they only had $300. And I judged them based off, like, they didn't have a job, they didn't look like they were doing too well. And I judged them, but I still dropped the price. And I got very lucky. And this person actually told me, well, I don't have a job and I only have $300 to invest, or that's what I put in the application. But I actually have some money saved up in my mom's account. And I said, oh, how much money do you have saved? He said, oh, I have $7,000 because it was going to be for college, but I didn't want to go. So he had $7,000 saved in his mom's account. But he told me he only had $300 and he didn't have a job, which made it easier for me to believe that, man, this person really is broke. But you literally can't judge people based off if they're making money or not, or like how much money you think they have or what they look like. You have to just take these risks and realize that people probably have money saved up. And most times, they have it in a savings account and they're afraid of touching that money. Some might have a trust fund. Some might have a credit card with a high limit. I've ran into a person that had no money at all, but they had a credit card with over $20,000 available. $20,000 available in a credit card. And all it was charging was I think it was like $2,000 at the time. So, like, if people want something, they're going to find a way to get it. And you can't be judging these people by what they look like or by what they say that they have. Because they say one thing, maybe they have another thing. Maybe, like I said, they have the money in a savings. They have a big trust fund. Who knows? All right, so now it's important to address the objection. So when you get the objection, right, it's too much money, or I can't afford this, or the price is too high. This is something that you want to say right here, okay? So, Karen, it sounds like you're ready to do this. Is it just that you don't have a card to put it on, or is it that you don't want to dip into your savings, or like, what's the deal? Because a lot of times when you ask those questions, they'll say, oh, well, maybe, I have money. It's in a savings. And I promised my husband that we wouldn't touch it unless it was an emergency. So you just got the real objection there. They do have the money. They're just scared to dip into the savings. They're scared to dip into the savings. And they just told you because you asked. You asked, sometimes maybe they have the money. They have the cash. They just don't have it on a card. So that's why you want to ask. It sounds like you want to do this, and it sounds like you're ready to do this. Is it just that you don't have a debit card to put it on? Or what's the deal? And then you get the real objection right there. And the next thing that I love to do, and I've learned this from my coaches, is do the feel, felt, and found method, the strategy. So basically the way this works is you want to be empathetic by your client. You want to show them that you're here not to sell them, not to push them, but just to help them go in the right direction. So you could say something along the lines of this. Hey, John, well, I totally feel where you're coming from. I've had clients that felt the same exact way. However, I found that those who dip into their savings and put their back against the wall and follow what I give get much further than those that are afraid to make a change. So you just see, I just used feel, felt, found. I understood where they were coming from. I felt exactly like where they were at, and I felt the same way before, and then I told them hey, I found clients that I've worked with in the past that when the people that invest in themselves get a lot further than these other people that don't, because they're too scared, right? So then when you address those things, then you want to ask this. This is the killer question. This is the question that will lead them to like make a decision of yes or no. And most times, if you position this correctly, you built a rapport, you built a relationship, and you made them realize that they can't get too far without you, you want to ask this question or these type of questions, which is, hey, John, well, how has this belief of not dipping into your savings affected your business for the last 2 years? Where will you be in the next 6 to 12 months if you don't make this change? Would it be worth it then? Right? So now you're targeting the actual questions that are making them think, like, is this, you're digging into the emotional level, right? So if they don't invest in themselves right now with you, where is their life going to be in 6 to 12 months? Are they going to be in the same exact boat? And you can just tell them straight up, like, you're going to be in a much worse position if you don't do this now. So don't be afraid to call them out. If you built a rapport, if you built a friendship, if you got them to trust you, you should have no worry of calling them out on their BS, because that's what it is BS and excuses. So how has this belief of not dipping into your savings affected your business for the last 2 years? And where are you going to be in the next 6 to 12 months if you don't make this change? Would it be worth it then? All right. And the question I have for you is, do you call your friends out on their BS? See, if you properly built the rapport at the beginning of the call, you have earned the right to steer this prospect in the right direction. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Eliezer, I'm going to be uncomfortable. I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I don't want them to think that I'm pushy or I'm salesy or that I'm just trying to make money off them. Here's the thing. I'd rather have you be uncomfortable for 2 minutes rather than having a client go back into the same hellhole that they're in for the next year or two. So don't be afraid to tell them that if they do not sign with you, they will be in the same position, if not worse. See, they need to make this change now. Because if they don't make this change now, like I said, they're going to be much worse without you. That's a fact. I've had so many people come back to me saying, hey, I know a few months ago, like, you offered to help me and I didn't take it, but now, like, I'm in a worse position. Can you still help me out? And at the time I say, well, I can't even help you out now because now you have less money than what you had before. And I can give you advice, but that's only going to get you so far. Right? So ask for the sale again. Once you call them out, once you get them to realize that, like, they need to make the change now, ask for the sale again. So John, let's give this a shot. What's the worst that can happen? And when you say that, you're being very empathetic. You're being a doctor. You're being a friend, a mentor. And otherwise, if you don't do this, they're going to walk away and suffer for much longer. And that's a guarantee. So just be a coach, be a friend, be a mentor to them. Maybe they don't have people that are guiding them in the right direction, and you can be that person that changes their life on this phone call. But the only way you're going to do that is by not taking no for an answer. We don't take no's for an answer. If it's people that we are good to work with, if it's good quality prospects that, okay, I can actually help this client. This person is driven. This person is determined. I want to work with them. If you have that feeling towards them, then yes, of course. If you feel like that client's going to be a pain in the ass and they're not going to be worth the money, they're not going to be worth the hassle, they're not going to be worth the stress, don't do it. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about your ideal client, your dream client that is going to, that, you know, if you help them, you're going to change their life and help them make more money and help them achieve the freedom that they want. All right. So here's the thing. If money is the actual issue, which in a lot of cases it is, offer assistance. But just because you're selling a $3,000 per month coaching package, it does not mean that, and they can't afford it, or they don't have a job, or they don't have money, whatever, it does not mean that the deal is over with. See, if you're selling, let's say that you sold a $3,000 per month coaching package, right? It's expensive, but if your client actually wants to do it, they will do anything to make it work out. So here are some options that you can suggest. And the only reason I'm telling you to do this is because I've done this myself. And I've learned this from other people that are trying to sell their products and services. And they believe that it's going to make a difference. So the first thing you can do is offer PayPal credit, offer a credit card or a loan. I've had people literally be on the phone with me. They didn't have any money. And they literally applied for a credit card on the Zoom call with me. And they got approved for over $5,000. Because they didn't have money coming in. And they didn't have, they didn't have any money saved up, but they were new to credit, and they had some sort of credit established, but they just didn't have many credit cards. So when they applied for this credit card, they got approved for it on the spot. And right after they got approved, we found a way to just get the money to go through after, right? So get them to offer the PayPal credit. PayPal credit right now, as I'm recording this video, I think it's like 0% interest rate for the first year. So if they borrow money from PayPal credit, they can invest into your program and not even have to pay a single dollar of interest. All right. So they can get a small loan. There's so many things, so many alternatives. They can borrow money from someone. You know, there's so they can go and mow lawns for 1 week. They can go and I don't know, wash cars. They can go and sell their Xbox, sell their Jordans. There's so many things that people can do. So if people actually want to do this, they will find a way to make it happen. Right. The next thing you can do is offer payment plan options. So I offer a lot of payment plan options, and I try not to do it, but if I have to, if I feel like the person's a good fit, then I will. So an example would be like, let's say, you sell a $3,000 package. Well, get them to make a down payment of $1,000 and continue to have them pay $1,000 bi-weekly for the next month. So that way that within 30 days, you can have the full $3,000 paid in full. So they do $1,000 today, 2 weeks from now, they do another 1,000, and then 2 weeks from then, they do another 1,000. So now you're handling the objection professionally, because let's just say that realistically, once again, they didn't have the money. They actually didn't have the money. Well, you would ask them something like this. Well, besides the money, is this something that you want to do? Yeah, man. Yeah, I really want to do this. Great. So how about I offer you a payment option? Would that help you out? Oh, yeah, man. I mean, what kind of payment option are we talking about? Well, how about you make a down payment of $1,000 today, and then we can break out the other parts up in payment plans. Would that make it easier? Yeah, man. Let's do that. I've signed so many clients off payment plans, and a lot of times I do wish to get the money all up front. Everyone would love to get $3,000 up front as opposed to in payments. But the reality of things is that some people just genuinely don't have the money, but they really want to change their life. And I love those people. I love people that their back is against the wall. They don't have much money, but they're willing to work out a payment plan. I have so much respect for those people, because at the end of the day, it's not, at that point, it's not about me getting my money. It's about me seeing how determined that person is to making something like this happen. Right? So don't be afraid to offer that payment plan. And the next thing I want to ask you is, how far would you go to get what you want? Right? So once again, I've had clients apply for credit cards and we got the payment to go through. I've had a client literally show me their bank account with $38, but they somehow came up with the money and they were able to afford my services. I think this was about 6 months ago. This person showed me their bank account and it had $38, and I sold them a $2,000 consulting package, and they were able to afford it somehow. I don't remember if it was that they borrowed money or if they put the money into a credit card or whatever it was, but they found a way to get the money and they showed me their account. Right? So if you show the true value and your prospect is as serious as they say they are, they will find a way to make it happen. No matter how broke someone is. If your mom was dying right now, I know this sounds a little too out of the box, but if your mom was dying right now and they said, hey, the only way to save your mom, or here, let me go to the actual example that I have down here. If you were dying, not your mom, if you were dying and the only way you could survive is by buying a new heart for $5,000 within 48 hours, would you find a way to get the money? Of course you would. Of course you would. There's no question asked. If you had to find a way to come up with $5,000 in the next 48 hours, you would find a way, whether that was selling your car, selling something that you have in your house that's very memorable to you and very, very important to you. Like, you would find a way to like sell that or come up with money, even borrowing money. I've borrowed money so many times just to like not fall down more. And every time I borrowed money, my back was against the wall. I had more pressure on me, and that's when I thrived the most. So just think of it. If you were to be in that position where you needed to come up with that much money, otherwise you would die, would you do everything you could in your power to get that? Yes, you would. So if this person is as serious as they say they are, then they'll find a way to get it. All right. So last thing I want to leave off with is give you an overview of what we just covered. So once again, get excited for objections. I want you to practice. I want you to study on your own. Practice and role play a lot to the point where you're comfortable. It's kind of like LeBron James. He practices so much, so when it comes to game time, he's playing at game speed because he's been doing that for a while now, right? And the next thing is you're simply coaching and leading people from their fear to their purpose. You're not trying to sell them for your own benefit. You're trying to help them. Right? It's a win-win. You get paid, you bring on clients, and you get to help them, and they change their life. All right? Make sure that the money objection is the actual reason as to why they can't do things. So make sure that if they say that it's the money, make sure it's actually the money. And that's not that they need to go talk to their husband or their wife, or that they need to, they don't believe in your service, right? Make sure that it's just the money. And the next thing is, if you do not get someone to work with you now, they will suffer more for the next 2 to 5 years. They will suffer more, significantly more without you. They're going to stay in the same exact hole that they've been in, doing the same exact thing. So remember, they need you. You are their opportunity for them to succeed, for them to thrive, for them to get ahead in life. So you not helping them is going to hurt them. All right, so find alternatives. Offer a credit card. Offer payment options. Offer a down payment. Offer assistance. Offer other sorts of assistance, but just don't let go of them. All right, so this has been it for this video. I hope this helps you out and you're more comfortable, more relaxed now. And I will see you in the next video.